Capacity crowd out here at Lang Park today for this match, and they're ready to go. They've given both teams quite a reception, particularly the Brisbane Broncos, who are out there ready to roll. And there's the man who's in charge today, Eddie Ward, who's got this job, and he should have a fair job on his hands out there today, David Wright.
Yes, an honour for Eddie Ward to pick up this one. There was some controversy earlier in previous seasons about Ward handling Broncos matches. This is now 2 in a row. He did the job against St George last week.
All right, ready for the kick-off, and that's Dale Shearer putting it deep downfield. It'll go over the head of Ricky Stewart. He touched it, it goes into touch in the in-goal area.
Bad start this for Canberra. Ricky Stewart wipes the ball, maybe a bit of grease on, but they couldn't handle a beautiful kick downfield. And Brisbane with a chance to go straight on the attack. From replay, from behind, Stewart tries to take it. Perhaps would have been better off letting it go through to Martin, but he didn't. And a chance for Brisbane from the goal line drop out.
So it'll be Stewart, and you can bet he'll give this a, well, it's not quite as long downfield as we imagined it might have been. But anyway, taken back there by Alan Langer. Got it back to Jackson. It was knocked over quite heavily, and he's hurt. He's hurt in that tackle.
Well, Jackson came through to run off Alan Langer, and he's in trouble.
He was motoring through it great. Lost over there by Gavin Allen. It'll be a Canberra ball. 30 metres out from their own line. Very heavy bump. You might remember Jackson got a heavy one in the State of Origin. Matter of fact, talking to you after the match, he didn't know where he was for about the second half of the match.
Well, he's got the same feeling right now, Bill. He's back in the line, but he could be anywhere. He could be at Bruce Stadium.
Oh, Disneyland anywhere. You've got it. Now penalty coming up to Canberra.
Well, shows a good side, Canberra. They were immediately under pressure from the kick-off after that era, but they've answered it straight away. Some beautiful defence. One on Jackson, another one a little bit later on to lose the ball. Now they brought the ball back out of their own territory. They get the penalty, and they're back on track.
Well, when Gavin Allen lost it, that was the turning point for them. They're able to do something from there. So Tony Durkin's down on the touchline as Lazarus takes it up. Durko, conditions down your way.
Well, as you said, Bill, at the start, a magnificent atmosphere here at Lang Park. Not probably quite State of Origin atmosphere yet, but I'm sure as the game unfolds, that will happen. In fact, all reserve seats sold last Monday. 1,900 went on sale this morning. People were lined up from 9 o'clock, and they went in about half an hour. There is some prediction of rain coming in. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But the condition of Lang Park, as usual, is first class.
Here's Big Mel Meninga taking it up the centre. Centre back inside to Lazarus. Lazarus is going to be taken back there by Walters, who came in first. That's Kerrod Walters. And he led the charge to be backed up by Dowling and Gavin Allen. Here's the kick through by Ricky Stewart. Coming across is Shearer. It'll bounce back. You'll see it back over the dead ball line. Kicking on the fourth tackle there. Walters to Gavin Allen. Charging up again just over the quarter line before he's put down. Lazarus led the charge. Coyne was there too. Now to Mark Hone. Charging straight up the centre again. A good strong run by Hone. Kerrod Walters directing it from dummy half. Which way will he go? He'll go the blind side, the left side. Out to Gene Miles via the hands of Alan Langer. Gino cutting back inside. Got it away to Jackson. Try!
Great stuff from the Broncos. 3 charging forward rucks to take it into midfield. Hit it back to blind side. Alan Langer, Gene Miles. Miles stood in the tackle from a step back on the inside. Peter Jackson storming up the middle. The pass was flat. Let's have a look at it. This is the 4th ruck from the tap move. Miles decides to take them on. Brushes away from Todd. There's the pass up. Could have been forward for mine. Eddie Ward didn't think so. Peter Jackson in right beside the post. From head on like this. The pass from Langer to Miles. He cuts back on the inside. Brent Todd can't handle him. This is the advantage of Miles. There's the pass up to Jackson. And Eddie Ward thought that was okay. That's points for Brisbane.
That slide defence, the opportunities are often on the inside if a player can manage to turn the ball back inside, where players are sometimes slow to trail across. And Peter Jackson there, he'd love to score that try against Canberra. He's had a trouble last couple of weeks, and he made a few statements last week. He had to put up or shut up, and that's certainly what Action's done. He's had a fine start to the match.
Yes, what a game it's been. He is, as we mentioned, against his old club. And now Dale Shearer, a vital kick. 86 points for the season for Dale Shearer. He makes that 88, and the Broncos lead after 5 minutes here at Lang Park by 6 points to 0. Now Coyne, wrapped up, loses the football. It's picked up by Brent Todd. Fresh back from that international duty against Great Britain for New Zealand, but a penalty.
Must be a swinging arm.
That is stupid stuff.
Yes, especially in this position on the field. Brisbane were defending well. Greg Dowling has been caught. There's the pass back from Stephen Walters. Coyne loses it backwards onto the ground. Picked up quickly, though, by the Raiders. Brent Todd it is. 3 players come in on him. Let's have a look at Dowling. He'll be the 3rd man in, just on the edge of camera there. Swinging right arm.
Well, Mal Meninga, 100 points for the season. the captaincy last week for Australia against Parks. Let's go touchline once again with Tony Durkin.
The veteran Canberra winger John Ferguson receiving some treatment from the trainer. I spoke to him before the game. He looked very, very edgy, John Ferguson. I asked him what the problem was. He said he was nervous. That would seem almost unrealistic for a man of his age and experience. I think he might be carrying an injury.
Okay, well, Meninga with a vital kick inside the quarter line. He's kicked 32 goals for the year so far. He moves in. He's struck it beautifully. He knows how to kick goals here at Lang Park. He's opened the scoring for Canberra, and Brisbane still lead by 6 points to 2.
Certainly looking good, Brisbane. They'll really be tested, though, in the defensive department. That's a good play, Brisbane.
And they got caught there, Belcher, but he got it back eventually over there to Ricky Stewart. Stewart puts a left foot kick in, and it's out on the full. That's what pressure does to you.
Congratulations, Wayne Bennett. Dead set play there from Brisbane to make sure they were going to cover that double pass from the ruck. Here's silly play from Canberra. A chance for Brisbane to put 2 points on. And Stephen Walters has been marched for 5 minutes.
So he's off, said something to referee Eddie Ward, and away he goes.
To the applause of both Kerrod and Stephen and Kevin on the Broncos side, Bill, both applauding the brother that's leaving the field.
Well, I suppose you can do it in the heat of the day.
And I know that Sandra and Kevin, their parents from Ipswich, are in the crowd here today watching it, so mixed emotions for them today.
I bet it is.
Pretty tough sentence there for Steve Walters. He did prematurely strike at the ball that Gene Miles was attempting to play, and then Miles objected to that and gave him a bit of a cuff. Eddie Ward also objected and sent him to the sin bin for 5.
So Dale Shearer now looking for another 2-pointer for the Brisbane Broncos. Beautiful conditions out here at Lang Park now. Sun shining through, as you can see. The wind has dropped away quite a bit. It was earlier today quite gusty, but it's settled down beautifully, and probably settle down as much as the Brisbane Broncos have in the opening stanza of this match. Very positive start by them. 1 from 1 at the moment. And for one of the few times we've seen someone such as Gary Belcher put under pressure, and so too was Ricky Stewart. So now Shearer. The crowd will let you know what the story is here, I can tell you that. There's the kick from behind. It's right through the centre. Another 2-pointer for the Broncos. They have a lead at the moment of 8 points to 2.
Jacko will remind Mal Meninga of that one tonight.
Okay, back it comes to Dowling. Dowling outside to Langer. Langer got it away to Kevin Walters, cutting up the centre, looking around for support. He's got his brother beside him, broke out of the tackle. He sends it over the top. It's knocked down by Canberra. He regathers. He's okay, and it's another 6 tackles. Plenty of pressure on. Players right out to the left. A quick play. The ball will do the job. Langer starts to run through the gap. Dummy still going out, and Langer couldn't get the pass away. They've got a few tackles to work with, so hang on and go from here. Away from dummy half is Johns. Johns sends it away to Langer. Langer to Dowling. Dowling outside to Miles. Picked up over there by Walters to Shearer. Shearer will get it away, and Willie Carnes in the corner, and that is a try.
Sensational try by the Brisbane Broncos. Well, we reckon Canberra can play attacking football. No one can play it better than that. Kevin Walters, a beautiful breakdown field after good interchange of passes. Brisbane didn't panic. Couple of rucks. They didn't have to panic. They got a restart of the tackle count. This is good passing. Miles beautifully picked up there. Kevin Walters again. Fires it out. Shearer could have scored it himself. He thought he'd help Willie Carnes for a bit of extra room. Brisbane are playing well. Chris Johns couldn't be knocked to the ground here. Stands in the tackle. Langer fires it up now. Dowling under pressure. Quick hands good. There's Miles, does the same sort of thing. Picked up nicely, Kevin Langer. Out to Dale Shearer. Shearer hands it on to Willie Carnes. That is a great team try. It went length of the field in 4 passes.
Well, there's Willie Carnes, the try scorer. 9 tries in 9 games for the Brisbane Broncos. But as you say, David, Dale Shearer, beyond doubt, could have scored it himself.
He played his 11th Test match last week against France at Parks. A class footballer. No doubt looking for his 2nd Kangaroo tour later this year. At this stage, an absolute certainty. There's the kick from Dale Shearer. That's waved away, so the perfect record broken. 2 from 3, and the Broncos lead by 12 points to 2.
Here's a pass to no one. Kevin Walters had to go back and dive on top of it. Dale Shearer steps up the centre. Was going all right, but got the pass back there to Madison, and Madison weaving his way up through the centre to be tackled by O'Sullivan. Gerard Walters back to home. The defence up to the task on this occasion, led off by Walters. That's Steve Walters, Gerard Walters, To Langer, Kevin Walters. Oh, beautifully to Johns. Johns has got Kevin Walters inside of him, gets it away and shut the gate. Another one on the board for the Broncos.
Great stuff, Brisbane. Once again, they're creating those gaps on the outside. Canberra haven't got an answer. I think Mal Meninga was slipped there. What a satisfied look that man has got. He's coached both these teams. He's in charge of this one at the moment, and they're showing how football is to be played. Have a look at this as he slips Mal Meninga on the outside. Chris Johns wouldn't stumble to the ground either. Determination to stay on his feet. Got to Belcher. Kevin Walters in support play this time, and he's played extremely well so far, Kevin Walters. The number 6 for Brisbane has been outstanding. Let's have a look at it again. Back on this blind side of the ruck. Quick ball movement on the fringe of the rucks. Meninga not in good position to make the tackle. John slips around the outside, gets to Belcher, back on the inside. Kevin Walters, Brisbane in for their 3rd try.
I think the irony of that, Bill, he was a member of the grand final squads at Canberra in 87 and 89. That is his first try for the Brisbane Broncos. He's played in every match so far at the Winfield Cup this year. The irony, scoring against his old club and his brother. I think he would have been delighted with the result of that.
Well, I think he's not the only one that would be delighted. There's some 32,000 people here are extremely delighted. So, as David Wright said, they are shell-shocked, the Canberra team. They're down in the in-goal area, in the huddle. And there's not a great deal of action down in that part of the world at this stage. 2 from 4 for Dale Shearer. There's the kick. It is good, and the Broncos scoot away with a lead of 18 points to 2.
Well, a vital time now for the Raiders because they have the tap restart 32 out. A test now for the Brisbane defence. Wally Lewis on the touchline. They say the last 5 and the first 5 of the second half, vital times for either side. It's a vital one for Canberra.
Yes, it certainly is, David, but I'm more concerned with how vital it is to Brisbane. As we see Johnny Ferguson streak away, it's a very dangerous time for us here. We've got to be able to hold Canberra out. If they score here, it'll bring out not only them a lot closer on the scoreboard, but their confidence level will grow sky high. They're a team that really do play confidently.
And Mal Meninga's come up with the try. Superb ball movement by the Canberra side. They moved it to the right. Ferguson had come from the left wing. Khan had come across to effect the tackle on the far side. Then they moved the ball left, and it was purely numbers at the end, David, with Mal Meninga finishing off.
Set piece Canberra. That's the second tackle from the tap move they had. They just set forward. They brought it onto this right-hand side. Have a look at this now. Johnny Ferguson is a left winger. This was his positional play. He's got his other winger outside him. Willie Khan follows his number. There's Khan making the tackle on his opposing winger on the opposite side of the field. Unfortunately for Willie, they're going to score in his corner because this is part of Canberra's set piece. Ricky Stewart, the long pass. Have a look. There's O'Sullivan. Ricky Stewart then receives beautiful hands. This is what they always had in mind. They're going to create the opportunity. Belcher does well to time the pass correctly. Daly, Meninga, no one at home, Willie Khan. You can hardly blame him. He decided to follow his opposing number. That is a well-conceived try by the Raiders just when they needed it.
So Mal Meninga comes up with his 10th try of the season and attempts to convert his own try from out near the touchline. There's the kick. It's swinging back around. Absolutely superb conversion by Meninga. The Raiders are back in the ball game. 10 points the difference. And Wally, that's what you were fearing on that far side. When the green machine move into action, anything can happen.
It certainly can, mate. And when you look at that scoreboard now, it's a 12-point difference. It's certainly a lot. It's a 10-point difference. It's a lot different from a 16-point break, especially when you're coming back out in the second half with only a minute and a half to go. I'm sure it's something that Wayne Bennett will be urging our players onto at half-time. The importance of not relaxing just for a couple of minutes. It did turn out to be a very important penalty, didn't it? The Broncos have got to try and turn something around. It's a huge penalty count that's against us at the moment.
Well, David, we made the mention last week at North Sydney Oval how this Canberra side used every inch of the football field, and that was just a perfect example of how they spread it to the right and then the quick play of the ball and that long pass from Stewart just set it up for the power of Meninga out wide on the left-hand side.
Yeah, you've got to applaud their play, because even part of their set tap move was they had 3 forwards standing close to the tap, but they passed the ball in behind them. They were never going to use them, but that just held Brisbane in there a little bit. The extra man with Ferguson over here, it was just a well-conceived try. They deserve the points. There's not much a defensive side can do about that when it's so well conceived.
Willie Khan's done everything right so far, and he handled that ball superbly. Ferguson was offside.
Well, I think he knew he was offside, Ferguson, because he wouldn't initially have a go at the ball. He was just letting Khan have a clean shot at it. But then also he was then inside the 5 metres. There's only seconds remaining up to half-time.
Well, the news is from the sideline that Peter Jackson has injured that left shoulder. So that could well mean in the second half that Paul Hoff may come on and Dale Shearer moves up into the centres. We'll check on that during half-time. Willie Khan.
Have they got a field goal expert from this distance?
Well, they have never kicked a field goal in the Winfield Cup. Dale Shearer has a shot, and it goes wide, and that's how the first half will end. It's been a fabulous 40 minutes, punctuated with 4 superb tries. 3 to Brisbane and 1 to Canberra. At half-time, the Broncos hold a 10-point lead, 18 points to 8, but more spectacular action coming from Lang Park on the other side of this commercial break.
Here's the restart of play with Mal Meninga to set it down over the head of Dowling. It'll carry back to Shearer in the in-goal area, and he'll run it out from there. Cutting right back into the centre of the field before he runs into Gary Coyne. Fights his way up, but is then forced back that little bit. And from the play, the ball now to Miles. Miles up to just short of that quarter line.
Statistics in the first half have been interesting, Bill, as we see Kieran Walls, a good little dash out of the dummy half. Tackles firstly, Brisbane have had to make 81 to Canberra 78. Not much in it. Probably the only interesting one there is Gavin Allen, 16, head and shoulders above any other player on the field, and hasn't he hit them too when he's made those tackles? So Gavin Allen has been a standout player in defence, also in attack, but possession also has been very interesting. Would you believe Canberra have had more ball in the first half than what Brisbane have? 71 to 68. No doubt Brisbane dominated the first 20 minutes. Canberra had the majority in the last 20 of the first half. And here they're going to get a good start to this second half. Not clearing the ruck, Terry Madison. Canberra can go straight on the attack from this penalty.
They've got plenty out on the left. Standing out here is Daly waiting for it. But Ferguson sends it the other way. Stewart to O'Sullivan, then across to Meninga. He props, cuts back inside. Meninga working up the centre, looking around for support. There's Stewart. Stewart's going to be put down, and no chance of getting it away. Dummy half Meninga. Canberra put on the pressure. They're not done yet, believe you me. Out there to Stanton. Stanton turns it back inside. Gary Belcher working across field, looking for a hole to go through, but no chance. So now from the play, the ball back to Stewart. Stewart's throw. Oh, Mark Hone's there, but he still unloads it. He gets it to O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan put over 5 metres out. It is the final tackle. Walters from dummy half. Walters will swing it back to Stewart. There's the little grubber kicker, bounced off a Broncos player, taken by Coyne, and he's in for the try.
Well, Canberra show how it's done. They're a professional outfit. The little grubber kick by Stewart tried to be blocked by Brisbane, and in doing so, straight in the hands of Gary Coyne. Here it is, Ricky Stewart looking for the in-goal area. The foot goes out by Kieran Walters, straight in the lap of Gary Coyne. That's the start the Raiders wanted to the second half. They played open football, and once again, it takes Gary Belcher to get involved for Canberra to start splitting the opposition. It all started from a kick downfield. Here's Wally Lewis now with the third replay.
Yes, mate, well, it's just a little bit of unfortunate play there. There's not too much the Brisbane guys could do about that. The only thing that you can really do is hope that the bounce favours you, and it certainly wasn't going to favour Brisbane there. Canberra have really got to roll up now. It's up to Brisbane now to really control the football, or control the Canberra's domination of the football for this next set of 6 tackles. What they've got to try and do is hold them as deeply as they can in their own half, try and put some pressure on the kicking game of Gary Belcher or Ricky Stewart, and the next time that the Broncos get the football, try and work themselves into a good field position where they can attack and try and force some pressure on the try line, or else push the ball in behind the in-goal line to try and force the drop kick back out.
Certainly a test of the Broncos' mettle now as Meninga comes in. He's kicked the goal and added the extra 2 points. So little separates the two teams at this crucial stage of this round 14 clash of the Winfield Cup.
Just saw a shot of Tim Sheen. Should be a lot happier with things now than he was some time ago. Lost the ball by Walters, picked up by Daly, keeps it going quickly over there to Walters, then outside to Stewart. Here's danger. Stewart through the gap. Ricky Stewart's away, flicks it back inside. Got to be taken by Meninga. Got it to Martin. Martin got it back to Belcher. Big stuff. Belcher going for the line, but blocked out.
Well and truly, Brock. Chris Johns on the try line.
But the Raiders keep it going now. Stewart looking to get in behind the line. Works it right over the top. Here's trouble if Daly takes it. He does. He gets it away to Lazarus. It's got to be a try. Lazarus over and in.
Out of front rowers score tries from 20 metres out. Well, you get to the try line, and anyone coming, you just pack up. The big fellow bump against Hancock. But once again, we see the Raiders in possession. It took a mistake from Kevin Walters within 6 tackles. Now, here's Walters' mistake here. He tries to flick the ball out the back, and it was just knocked down, picked up quickly by Daly. And watch Canberra always move the ball away from the ruck play. Here it is. This is brilliant out here. Look at Stewart. The gap was there. John's come up too quickly. John somehow gets back to make this final tackle. Flick past to Meninga. Held off momentarily. There's Martin back on the inside. Now watch this last tackle on the try line. John, beautiful stuff head on. But then Canberra aren't finished. Ricky Stewart once again makes sure, even though Brisbane come up offside, that he's going to get the ball out wide. He won't be stopped. Have a look at this. Make sure, look, searching across. Brisbane are up in his road, but he pops the pass over the top. Daly can't be stopped by Willie Kahn. Lazarus, now watch here, Hancock from the far wing. Lazarus says, well, look, I'm too big for you. You might come across, but you won't stop me.
So Canberra dead set make it level at 18 all, and now Mal Meninga to try and get them to the lead. 3 from 3 for Mal Meninga, the perfect record. There's Gene Miles with his crew back in the in-goal area. Well, some of them not quite back in the in-goal area, actually.
Well, they should be, Bill. They're actually supposed to be behind the try line. Meninga
has booted them to the lead. Canberra go to a lead now of 20 points to 18. And what a comeback.
He was the grand final skipper in 87. Just an old-fashioned second-row forward, really, David, is he? But very, very effective.
He sure is. He balances this Raiders side. You can't have all players with flair.
Now Langer, Hoff. This is a young man with flair. Support on both sides. Hoff got away from the test fullback. Belcher and scores the try. The Broncos back in the lead. And Paul Hoff, magnificent. 6th try of the year. Chris Johns loves him. Look at that.
Alan Langer.
32,000 people.
This little man set it up, and Paul Hoff went all the way. Look at him. He beats Laurie Daly pointlessly. When you sidestep with these sort of legs, you go a long way. He had Willie Kahn on the outside, but had the confidence to take on Belcher. Belcher hardly laid a hand on him. The big fellow scoots across, and what a fine try. Wally Lewis.
Yes, David, it certainly was Alan Langer that set it up. He put Hoppy in there, but what a magnificent sidestep. He took off, he left Laurie Daly cold, and to beat Gary Belcher, that's one of the biggest raps you could ever give a man, and did it with one boot off as well. How fast is this bloke? It's impossible to tell just how quick he's running because he strides about 13 metres at a time. But certainly just what the Broncos needed at that stage, because we were starting to do it very tough. It seemed as though we were really bashing ourselves up against a wall without success, but that may give us just the confidence we need to hang on now. I think it's very important that Gino gets back on the field as quickly as possible, because a captain is a very responsible man in a situation like this. He really needs to control play, set up the pattern we've got to stick to for the rest of the time. And David, as you said before, our kicking game hasn't been all that successful. That's what we need more than anything at the moment.
I think 32,000 people will tell the story. It's going to be disappointment for them. Disappointment for Dale Shearer. It's waved away. The Broncos in the lead by 22 points to 20.
Here go the Raiders again.
They've got a minute and a half, the Raiders, to try and snatch this game out of the fire. They had a perfect record against the Broncos before they came into this top-of-the-table clash in 1990. They won in 1988 by 36-16, handing out the biggest defeat to the Broncos in their short history. Last year they won 27-6 at Seaford. At the moment they trail by 22 points to 20. Brisbane hanging on in desperate defence. This Canberra side is never done. They move it with Belcher. He threw the dummy, which Langer went for it, and they've ruled him on an obstruction, a shepherd. Well, that's a controversial decision.
It'll win the game for Brisbane, or it'll decide the game for Brisbane. Brisbane have won it on their merits, but there, Gary Belcher running in behind one of his own players, in the opinion of Eddie Ward. And with only seconds remaining in the match now.
Less than 30, in fact, David, and the Broncos will use up every one of those seconds. They're going to take the 2 points on offer. Well, what a match we've had. It's going to put Brisbane on top of the table for the first time this year in the Winfield Cup after 14 rounds. I would say most of the critics would have had Canberra the favourites going into this match. They started brilliantly, the Broncos. They got away to a great lead. To their credit, Canberra came storming back. They went to the lead to the tune of 20 points to 18. that Alan Langer inspired a move down the right-hand side. The replacement fullback Paul Hoff chimed in to score his 6th try of the year. None more important than that one.
There's the cheer squad. They've been working overtime today. They're going to cheer their team on to victory. Great performances in the Broncos side. Dowling, Walters and Allen, the front row, played magnificently. Miles, while he was on there, was really to the fore. Alan Langer back to his best form, no doubt about that. Kevin Walters, the perfect link man. The back line with Shearer at fullback looked good. Peter Jackson, when he was on there. Hoff, of course, scored the winning try. Canberra, I think, best served by Stephen Walters, who had an outstanding game. Ricky Stewart, some good ball movement. But really, Brisbane have just come over the top of the Raiders. They played extremely well today.
Well, the Bullets beat the Cannons in Canberra last night. And it seems the Broncos are on target to defeat the Raiders here today at Lang Park. The kick is wide, but it won't matter because the full-time siren is about to sound and 32,000 people erupt. The cheer girls are elated. I'm sure Wayne Bennett is. The Broncos have broken the Canberra hoodoo. They've struck a huge psychological blow for the playoffs later this year. Greg Dowling salutes his other team members. The Broncos go on top of the Winfield Cup after 14 rounds. They have come from behind to defeat the Raiders, by 22 points to 20 in a marvellous example of rugby league here in front of 32,000 people at Lang Park.